Okay, thank you for the time. My name is Muhammad Faisal Ibrahim, and today I want to present our research about integration, analytical hierarchy process, and multi-objective optimization on the basis of ratio analysis for sustainable supplier selection during the COVID-19 pandemic era case study. I am come from Universitas Internasional Semen Indonesia, Gresik, Jawa Timur. Supplier selection is an important step in the supply chain management process and become a strategic issue in increasing company competitiveness. The selection of the right supplier will have a positive impact on reducing costs, improving quality, and on-time delivery of product that will lead to strength in global competition. And in recent decades, sustainability has become a major concern for organizations due to increasing awareness about environmental degradation, depletion of natural resources, and climate change. This becomes very complex when there is a disruption in the supply chain system caused by COVID-19 pandemic. The global spread of the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19 pandemic, has had devastating impact on the supply chain, and the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted the world economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected supply chain and their sustainability, and one of the highest risks is from suppliers, so it must be mitigated properly. Based on several previous studies, analytical hierarchy process and multi-objective optimization on the basis of ratio analysis are popular and simple to use in solving sustainable supplier selection problem. As far as we know, there has never been sustainable supplier selection taking into account supply chain disruption in the COVID-19 pandemic era. This study tries to integrate analytical hierarchy process and multi-objective optimization on the basis of ratio analysis to solve the problem of selecting sustainable supplier selection in the era of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in Indonesia. And the contribution of this research is the integration of the analytical hierarchy process and multi-objective optimization of the basis of ratio analysis method and determination of important criteria in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. Additional criteria relevant to the situation are sought throughout the literature. Now I will explain the method in this research. The first stage is identification of criteria and alternatives, and the second step is classifying criteria into benefit or cost, and we continue to pairwise comparison criteria. And in this stage, the assessment of each criterion uses the priority scale developed by Saati as shown in this table. And the next step is calculating criteria weight based on the analytical hierarchy process method, and continue to create a decision matrix, and we continue to normalize decision matrix. Then the seventh stage is weighted normalized decision matrix, and the last stage is assessment value and ranking. Okay, continue about data collection. The research raised a case study on the garment company in Indonesia. The company select a supplier of cotton fabric, which is the main raw material for its product, and 5 suppliers were selected as alternative supplier to be used. And The determination of the criteria used in this problem is done by studying literature in previous study. The list of criteria that has been obtained is submitted to the decision maker members. After that, a focus group discussion was conducted to determine the criteria used. Okay, this is the criteria we use in this study. The selected criteria related to COVID-19 pandemic are represented in criteria 8 to 12. This is safety and health practices, the well-being of employees, communication strategy in healthcare, remote working condition, and area. It's about COVID-19 impact level. Okay. After completing the pairwise comparison matrix, we found the criteria 12 is the area was the criteria with the greatest weight, which was 29.5%. Then the next position was occupied by remote working condition, criteria 11, and safety and healthcare practice, criteria 8, with weight of 16.1% and 10.6% respectively. The three criteria with the highest weight are criteria related to ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and followed by the criteria for criteria 10 and criteria 5, criteria 6, criteria 2, 7, 9, and 1. The weight of criteria shows the criteria related to COVID-19 pandemic is very important, and after this we continue to calculate the ratio analysis for knowing the best suppliers. Okay, we found the supplier alternative 3 is the best suppliers, and continue to supplier 2, and in the third place is supplier 1. Okay, the conclusion is the integration of analytical hierarchy process and multi-objective optimization of the basis of ratio analysis is successful in solving the problem, and the favorite suppliers are selected by considering 12 criteria, 5 of which are criteria related to COVID-19 pandemic, and the results show that the criteria area or criteria number 12 had the greatest weight, and supplier 3 become the supplier with the first rank or the best supplier. And the result of this study also show the use of analytical hierarchy process and multi-objective optimization on the basis of ratio analysis integration method in solving sustainable supplier selection problem in the COVID-19 pandemic era. In the future research, the relationship between criteria can be analyzed more focused. Okay, I think it's all, and thank you for your attention.